Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Strive and NJACAC College Exploration Week. I am going to share my screen, hopefully. No, maybe not. Ugh.
There you go.
Oh, there I go.
Yep, all good.
Hold on. There we go. Okay, so welcome. You are muted. Your microphones are off. Your cameras are off. We can hear you. Well, we can't hear you. You can hear and see us. We can't hear or see you. So if you have questions, you're going to use the Q&A button and we'll be happy to answer your questions. Well, not me. I'm leaving. I'm going to leave you in the good hands of my friend here from University of Louisville. This is one of many college presentations offered. We've got more tonight and tomorrow and Friday. You can check out the schedule on www.njacac.org/virtual fair. Everything is being recorded, so you'll be able to go back and refer to the session or see other sessions that you've missed. I will pop back in towards the end to do a little goodbye, but right now, enjoy exploring the University of Louisville. Bye.
Thank you. Thanks. Well, good evening. My name is Richard Mullen, and I am the Eastern States representative for the University of Louisville. I live right here in New Jersey. I am in Little Falls, just next to Montclair State University, if you know where that is. And I am born and raised, a graduate of Passaic Valley High School myself. And this is actually my 31st year in college admissions, but my second with the University of Louisville. I've got a great presentation for you tonight. We're going to go over a lot of facts and figures about the university. I've got 3 2-minute videos, and I'm going to intersperse them to kind of break it up. If you have any questions, type them in the question and answer. I'll try to get them along the way, but I'll certainly get them at the end. I don't want you to think I've forgotten you if I'm talking. I have the presentations also one way on my end. But without further ado, I'll get underway. If you're not familiar with the university, we are a public R1 Carnegie Research University in Louisville, Kentucky. And I'm going to share my screen and we'll get into the proper presentation. Okay. Okay, so again, I'm Richard Mullen. And I work with all students who apply from Pennsylvania to Maine. If you are an applicant or you have any questions and you live in Pennsylvania, New Jersey, New York, Vermont, New Hampshire, Maine, Connecticut, Rhode Island, or Massachusetts, I'm your guy. My job is to facilitate your entry into the university. I think young people sometimes think I'm here to keep you out. That is not true. We are a double read school, but I am the first reader for every New Jersey applicant. You can get more information, or if you're not getting information from us already, just snap the Q code and that will get you more information. You see my contact information. I will show this again at the end, and uofl.virtualme to show all of our tours. We are doing in-person tours. We do 3 p.m. every Tuesday and Thursday, Instagram Live student-led tours. And we have a variety, about 10 different ways you can visit with us during COVID. Okay, a picture of the main building on campus. One of the things few people realize about the University of Louisville is that we have been around since 1798. This is our original building, Grawemeyer Hall. We are a 222-year-old university. For the first 172 years, we were a private university. We have only become part of the Commonwealth of Kentucky system since 1970. People think about us, they see our football and basketball team, they think we're a gigantic school, and the reality is we are definitively medium-sized. We're the 10th smallest school in NCAA D1 athletics. We have 11,500 or so undergraduates, and we're really not growing. That is basically a fixed size for us. We're located in a residential section of Louisville. Each year we have about 2,500 to 2,600 brand new freshmen. Last year we had about 15,000 applications for those spots. Come from all 53 states and 91 nations. 27%, and our target goal for 5 years from now is 33% of our population is from out of state, and about 25% of our students are students of color. I think that there are a lot of things we're going to talk to ahead, but I'm going to start by showing you a campus video. Video is just over 2 minutes long, and I think it'll give you a great idea about the university. And again, as we're going along, just type any questions you have in the Q&A box at the bottom.
You walk in here and you don't know where you fit, but there are people from everywhere, and everyone's looking. For friends, for fun, for their future. Jock, geek, troublemaker, nerd, blah, blah, blah. Forget your high school labels. Here, you'll live in a diverse world of individuals. The University of Louisville's student body is representative of the state, the country, the entire giant planet. Starting now, you get to define you. No, you've got the R all wrong. With more than 200 majors available, we definitely have your major. Before you graduate, you'll go to more than 1,200 classes. And you'll traverse a park-like campus cultivated with more than 220 years of history. There's also lots of opportunities for internships, co-ops, international study abroad, and research programs to layer your education. U of L is about much more than academics. Explore the things you love. Join a club, volunteer in the community, get active in student government, start a study group for one of your classes. The residence halls are a great place to bond with new friends. Almost everyone loves their first roommate. Almost. But don't roost in your room too long. We've got state-of-the-art workout facilities, a variety of intramural sports, and other fitness clubs that make it easy to stay active. Stop, that R is still not quite right. Back up. Rubbing the toe of the thinker during finals week will bring you good luck on your exams. On the other hand, don't step on the cardinal bird. It's bad luck. Very bad luck. You're leaving the nest to explore new boundaries, but don't be confined by the boundaries of campus. Louisville is a vibrant city full of culture, music, parks, sports, and great food. So get ready to settle in and learn how to throw what you know, because by the time that you leave the University of Louisville, you'll be ready to When you become an insider here, you're ready to make an impact out there.
All right. So we craftily snuck in the thinker. Did any of you see the thinker statue there? Any of you are from Central Jersey know that in Princeton, there is the thinker as well. But our casting is Rodin's original casting, believe it or not, the practice casting. So there are actually two thinkers, one in Princeton and one in Louisville, Kentucky. Now you may be asking, why would I go 800 or so miles away to go to college in Louisville, Kentucky? We've got great schools in New Jersey, Rutgers among them, and TCNJ, many others. Well, here's some great reasons. Accessibility, particularly for those of you thinking about business, engineering, or nursing. We have great schools in all these programs, and we know how hard it is. We have a very dense population in New Jersey, and we know how rigorous it is to get into Rutgers, particularly for business, engineering, or nursing. We offer the same programs. We have a top 100 business school, a top-rated co-op engineering program, and a huge nursing program that's attached to our medical school. And students who are good, solid BB plus students can have access. You do not need a 3.7 or a 3.8 or perfect SATs. We are test score optional as well in all those programs. We have a pathway. We are very affordable. We're going to talk a lot more about this tonight. But room, board, tuition, and fees, if you live in the state of New Jersey, after our regional award, which goes to all students in New Jersey, is $28,072. It's $38,072 to start for out of state. Every student in New Jersey, no matter your SAT or ACT or GPA, if you are admitted, you get a $10,000 a year regional award. And that award continues for all 4 years as long as you have a 2.0 GPA while you're with us. that's one of the most generous offers in the nation. It's only available in 8 regions in the country. This is one. If you're in New York City, if you're in Harrisburg or Pittsburgh, you do not, or Wilmington, Delaware, you do not get the money. So this is a special award for New Jersey students called the Regional Scholars Program. Our campus culture is vast. I think people think Louisville maybe is a lot smaller than it is. We're a city of 800,000. We speak 109 languages. We have a rich and, again, 200-plus-year-old campus history and culture. Diversity and inclusion is written right into our mission. Again, 25% students of color and growing, and a big part of our cardinal principles, which we'll also talk about a little later. We're a Carnegie R1 research institution. That puts us in the top 120 or so research institutions in the United States. The difference for us is you get to do that in a medium-sized package. You'll have access to research as soon as your freshman year, and really in basically almost every one of our majors. And there's lots of opportunities to grow. It's a youthful city. We have 3 Fortune 500 companies and just great opportunities in the city of Louisville itself. Again, public side, you see a little bit more of campus here, 14-to-1 student to faculty ratio, an average class size of 26. Our 220 or so majors are divided into 12 schools and colleges. At the graduate level, we're led by the med school, law school, and dentistry school. But at the undergraduate level, business, engineering, and nursing lead the way. Our single largest major, however, is biology in our pre-med program. Again, a world-class medical school. We are known for transplantation and implantation. We implanted the first mechanical heart in the United States. We're partnered with GE Medical Devices, who are headquartered in Louisville. And our engineering students are working right now in the final year or two of creating a partial artificial spinal cord, which will revolutionize the world for paralysis, the world of paralysis, and how these injuries are treated. In our engineering program, 97% of our engineers are employed within 3 months of graduation, 90% of them with one of their co-op employers. And we do have a full 4-year co-op engineering program. Many co-op programs are 5 years. We are not. We are 4 years. The students work 4 months a year. They earn on average $12,000 every co-op, which we help arrange. When they graduate in engineering, they have a year of experience. They'll have earned $36,000 on average while they're with us, and 90% of all of our engineers go to work for one of their co-op employers. 92% of our business grads out of our US News and World Report top 100 rated business school are employed within 6 months. And again, 3 Fortune 500 companies in Louisville and 17 others with a major presence, so more than 100 employees in Louisville. In terms of academics, well, I don't want to read all the bullet points, but you can see them there. Top school in Kentucky, well, for a lot of things. Niche, this week, Niche magazine voted us the top school in Kentucky, period. The #3 program for sports administration in the US, which this year is now the #2 program in sports administration in the US. If you're interested in being a sports agent or running a baseball team, working with the Yankees, the Phillies, the New Jersey Devils, we have a great opportunity with you, and we're partnered with Nike for the internships in that program. We're the top rated school in the South for LGBTQ students. We are 8 years running having won that award. We're the most diverse public university in Kentucky, and just a beautiful, beautiful campus. You're gonna see some more of that. Hopefully you saw some in the video. You can see some in the right side of the picture. And lastly, a couple of unique majors. We have a music therapy major. We're one of 3 schools that has the music therapy lab right on campus, and you'll begin working, and even as a freshman, you'll be out working in the music therapy lab and working with patients, if you will. We also have a really unique major in equine business. If you happen to be an equestrian, you're in Central Jersey, we are right next door to Churchill Downs. It is actually walking distance. It's under a mile, and they have full stables there. You can ride, you can dress, but our equine program runs through our top 100 rated College of Business. So our degree is in equine business and involves all sorts of horse management, horse breeding, horse stabling. Just, again, a great and unique program. You probably already know about our athletics. We are in the Atlantic Coast Conference. Again, we're one of the 10 smallest overall schools in NCAA Division I at 11,000 undergraduates. 23 sports overall. We are also a nationally ranked and top-rated cheer program. I do have 2 young ladies from New Jersey who've joined us this year to cheer. We have 25 different club sports as well. The big ones are included are hockey and rugby. Tons and tons of intramural and rec, as you would expect at any major college. A beautiful state-of-the-art rec center, which you saw a little of in the video. Over 450 clubs, and we do have 33 fraternities and sororities. Greek life makes up just under 20% of our students. If it's something you're interested, it's there for you and active, but you do not need to participate in Greek life to feel a full part of the University of Louisville. Where will you live when you come? Well, we, like all schools, have traditional halls and a wide series of options for you. But for the next 2 years, each year, we're opening a brand new residence hall. These are brand new from the ground up. We spent 2 years with a group of students from our student government touring the country and picked a style which is called a hybrid dorm. So our current styles include apartment style, suite style, where it's 2 rooms and a bathroom shared between. Students have to clean the bathroom in that setting, and the feedback we get from them is they don't like cleaning the bathroom. I'm sure that doesn't surprise most of you. And we have traditional or older style, most of you would call, where you have a traditional room and the large bathroom, group bathroom is down the hall. Students, of course, don't like that setup either, even though those bathrooms are cleaned for them. So what these buildings are, each floor has traditional rooms, but on each floor are 15 independent bathrooms, just like you have in your house. Bathrooms where when you walk in and close the door behind you, it's just you. You have a sink, a mirror, a toilet, and a full shower, and you're in there and you have the whole place to yourself, and they'll be cleaned by our staff when you leave. So a great new opportunity. 452 beds opening this year, 452 more opening the following summer. 1 building 2021 and 1 in 2022. I talked a little bit more about the usual style. You see Betty Johnson. We do have a very limited amount of apartments for freshmen, but you can, if you apply early enough and your application for housing is in on time, you can qualify to live in an apartment on campus your freshman year. The vast majority of the students live in either suite style or traditional style. And again, we're adding the brand new building this year, which if I didn't mention, is for freshmen only. The new building is for first year students only. On the map, we have our campus, by the way, is completely self-enclosed and very manageable. About 15 minutes walk from one side completely to the other. If you see the purple buildings inside the red loop, those are our freshman dorms right now. And the 2 new buildings will be sandwiched right in between the 2 Z-shaped or S-shaped buildings, depending on how you're looking at it there, right on top of that P for parking. So from our freshman dorms, you can literally walk into any building on campus, any classroom, in 10 to 11 minutes at most. So no need to get up 30 or 40 minutes early and take a shuttle bus across campus or take a 25 minute walk. You can roll out of bed and be in class basically in about 10 minutes. And again, it is just a beautiful campus. If you've not been, very park-like, lots of trees, a gorgeous campus. We're led by a super fantastic woman named Dr. Neeli Bendapudi. She joined us about 2 years ago from the University of Kansas, where she was the provost. She is a small person in stature with an outsized personality and is just a fabulous leader. But I'm going to let her tell you guys a little more with our second video, and I'll let her tell you a little more in her own words.
I know what it's like to move to a new place and to immediately fall in love. The first thing I noticed about the University of Louisville is how very much people care about this place. They care about the beautiful campus and the urban landscape of a large city that surrounds it. They want to brag about the academic successes, from graduating students to groundbreaking research. They embrace our diversity. They care about our sports teams. Do they care about our sports teams? But most importantly, they care about each other. Yes, we care about each other. We see how medical discoveries take teamwork. We see faculty who celebrate student success as much or if not more than their own. We understand the importance that the University of Louisville plays in the life of our city and of our state. A place becomes special only when it's filled with people who truly care about it. And that's who we are at the University of Louisville.
Okay, and a great leader for our campus, just universally loved on campus. So we're just so excited to have her. Why would you come to Louisville? Again, we're a much larger city, I think, than most people are thinking. We're certainly not Philadelphia or New York. We're sandwiched between the largest and fourth largest city in the nation in New Jersey. But when I tell people, they think we're about the size of maybe Harrisburg. But in reality, we're larger than Pittsburgh or Buffalo. We're a city of just under 800,000 people and a metro area of about 1.3 million people. We have a great location in a residential portion of town. For any of you who've maybe visited Washington, D.C., our location will be similar to that of American University, or if you've ever been to New Orleans, how Tulane is in the Garden District. That's about how far we are from downtown. We're about 2.8 miles, and we're about 2.5 miles from the International Airport in Louisville, which is the Muhammad Ali International Airport. If you don't know, Muhammad Ali, born and raised in Louisville, one of the great champions of our city. From the airport, campus is literally an $8 and about a 5.5-minute Uber ride. And it's about a $9 to $10 Uber ride to downtown, depending on where in downtown you're headed. Many people don't know we're a top food destination. In fact, National Geographic said we were the top food destination in the world in Louisville in 2016. We've got 3 Top Chef winners from the Food Network who have restaurants in town. And Louisville itself is home to 119 independent restaurants. That's the most in the United States outside of Manhattan. We talked about the Fortune 500 companies already. We're a park city. The same gentleman, Francis Olmsted, who designed Central Park in New York, designed a ring of parks all around Louisville, including on the riverfront of the Ohio River. Just beautiful. We do get 4 changing and mild seasons. We do get snow every year, probably not as much, especially as we get up here in North Jersey. 109 languages spoken full-time in Louisville. And our famous activities, you all know about the Kentucky Derby, which you see here. And again, this facility is just on the other side of our football stadium and basically walking distance from campus and operates year-round. But we have the only underground zip lining in the United States inside the city limits in Louisville. And we're home to Thunder Over Louisville, which is the largest and longest fireworks display in the United States and starts Derby week every year. And if you don't know, Kentucky Derby for us is like Mardi Gras in Louisville. It is an entire week, really like 9 days of activities. And one of the unique, quirky things about the University of Louisville, we are the earliest releasing school in the nation in spring. We released the last week of April because our dormitories are used for the international press and media who are covering the Kentucky Derby every year. So we finished classes the last week of April. The Kentucky Derby comes in for a week or 10 days, and when they leave, our seniors come back for a week all to themselves, and then they graduate. I'm going to stop sharing just for a moment and check. I don't see any questions in the Q&A at the moment, but if you do, remember to type them in there, and I will come back, and I'm going to get on into a little bit more of the nuts and bolts and talk a little bit more about how to apply at the University of Louisville. Okay. Okay. Oh, before we get on to how to apply. If you're going to come and see all these great things we have to do, the Louisville Slugger Museum, the great restaurants, the symphony, the riverfront, you're going to need a way to get around. You can, as a freshman, bring your car to campus. There is a $100 parking permit fee for the year, but most of the students just take advantage of the free transportation we offer. There is a shuttle around campus that goes to the stadium, which again is about a mile. But when you're walking across campus, you really do not use or need a shuttle bus. But the TARC bus you see here, which is the City of Louisville transportation system, is available free to all Louisville students and faculty with their ID any time of the day or night. So you can ride anywhere there's a bus route or trolley route in Louisville. You hop on, show your ID, and it's free. We mentioned again the airport, less than 10 minutes from campus. And we do have a full scooter system. A lot of the young people nowadays rent the Bird and Lime scooters and scoot around campus and scoot around town as well. Okay, here comes the good stuff. Room, board, tuition fees, all in for an out-of-state student, $38,072. And this is going to make a little more sense in just a moment. But we know that that's not inexpensive. But for compared to other out-of-state colleges, it in this day and age is a veritable deal. Here's why. And again, every student from New Jersey, automatically upon admission, even conditionally admitted students, gets $10,000 a year for all 4 years. That can be increased if you do have, if you meet the metrics on the chart in front of you. But just announced last week, you can also increase this if you're a test score optional applicant. So I encourage all New Jersey applicants to begin with a Common App and go test score optional. You can add scores. You can add them with me or anyone at U of L up until May 1st. If you hit these marks, it's an automatic qualification. Why does this matter? Because when you take the $10,000 off, here's where you're at. And I want to tell you, I just pulled these numbers off the websites of these schools. And these are last year's tuition compared to my next year's tuition. The $28,072 is going for next year. Okay, so we are more than $20,000. I hear a lot of young people I work with talk about Delaware, South Carolina, in particular, Clemson. So, you know, it's $20,000 a year, and you can win additional money and departmental money and stack it on top of the $10,000. This is just with the regional award factored in, which every New Jersey student qualifies for. Furthermore, and I'm sorry, I have last year's tuition rate on this one, but it's $28,072 over here. We are basically lower cost for you than staying in state. Last year, we were less than Rutgers. And again, these are last year's figures all the way around. Less than TCNJ and less than Montclair State for in-state students. So if you're thinking you might want, for instance, at Montclair, a great business program, you can get a top 100 business program at the University of Louisville and our College of Business and still pay less than you would to stay in Montclair. And again, in terms of acceptance versus Rutgers, you know, we know how stringent Rutgers is in business, but if you have a good, you know, solid B average or better, and a 560 on the math side of your SAT, you're a great candidate for admission into business or engineering at the University of Louisville. And again, all of those programs can be applied to test optional as well. We are a rolling application, rolling admission school. You may apply through the Take Flight app. That's our in-house app, but I seriously recommend all out-of-state students just use the Common App. If you're applying to any other school on the Common App already, just use the Common App. Our application fee is $25, very reasonable. If you submit ACT or SAT scores, we are test score optional at the student's option. You can choose to send them, or we will choose at your choice to evaluate you without them. It's up to you. But if you do send them, they must be official. And my mark is this: if you have a 20 or higher ACT, or you have a 1080 or higher SAT, really a 1030 or higher SAT, send your test scores. If you send test scores, you do not need to do an essay. If you send test scores, you just need your GPA and your test scores. If you apply test score optional, you will be asked to fill out the essay on the Common App or a Cardinal Principles essay. The priority deadline is February 15th. That means we'd love to see you by then, and that will guarantee you housing. However, if you can apply with us all the way through May, all the way through the end of the application period. And again, if you do not have tests or not have tests you're happy with, apply test score optional now. If you test later in the fall or in the spring and you get great scores, you send them to me, we'll convert you. Just remember, it's a one-way street. Test score optionals, students can ask to be changed to with test scores, but it doesn't work the other way. Once I've seen your test scores and they don't qualify for you, I cannot change you back to test score optional. Okay, and again, we talked a little bit about this. We're rolling admission once your file is complete. If you're in New Jersey, it literally comes to me online and I do the first review. It literally takes me, once your file's complete, no more than 72 hours. So we are very quick. There are many, many students who already have decisions from us. We don't hold anybody. There's no early action or early decision period. We've been rolling since August 1st. FAFSA is now available for those of you who are ready to file. We understand it's a crazy year. If you're not ready, you can file all the way until April or May of next year. We do have an October 15th deadline coming up for our honors program. Honors has gone this year to test score optional as well. If you are eligible in your application portal, which we call your application portal your new cards gateway, in your application portal where you'll also receive your decision along with the letter by mail, but there will open up a separate page with the information for the honors program. By the way, if you choose to use our in-house app and you're filing an essay, that is also where you'll file your essay, not in the app, but in the online admissions portal. Competitive and mentored are our full scholarship programs, Graumeier and Brown. There are about 35 to 38 of those a year available. They are just for out-of-state students. This year, you'll need a 29 ACT or equivalent SAT, which I believe is a 1300 to be considered for those programs. We do offer a guaranteed interest program. We have one in medicine and one in the dental school, so a BSMD and a BSDDS. The BSDDS is unique. I believe it's the only one actually in the country. The BSMD this year only, because of COVID, is limited to in-state students. That's called the GEMS program. But the BSDDS, if you're interested in that, has a December 15th deadline as well. Again, saves you a full year from a dental school program if you know you want to go to dental school. Those full scholars will be notified. There'll be an interview weekend. You'll be notified by mail on February 1st. And throughout the spring, the main message of the spring note dates, we're a little earlier than most schools. We run our orientation right away in May. So our guys up here, we don't get out of school till the third week of June. So you'll just be aware, I have been pushing for my New Jersey and Pennsylvania kids for a July date for orientation, but just be aware that we do early orientation. If you do test score optional, and you use our in-house app, you'll be asked to complete a Cardinal Principles essay. Cardinal Principles are our guiding Cardinal Principles, what we base our goals on at the university: a community of care, accountability, respect, irrespective of the position of the person on campus, whether you're a student, a faculty member, a housekeeper, a groundskeeper. We expect you to be respectful to everyone. Diversity, inclusion, written right into our mission. We have a platform that we've begun in the last 90 days that we will become the nation's premier anti-racist university. We were also in late August, the survey was done by Rand Foundation for the best outcomes for students of color. We are #1 in the nation for outcomes for students of color. We're very, very proud of that. Integrity and transparency, just personal integrity and being open with others, noble purpose, agility, the ability to move and change quickly as we all have during COVID, and leadership. I'm going to talk a little bit about COVID. The university and our world-class medical school are one of 13 biohazard 2-level containment labs in the US. That means there are 13 places in the United States that researchers can work on the COVID virus, and we are one of those places. We have our own antibody test that we've developed. We're at the forefront of the vaccine march and program. We did go back to school in person in August. We have been testing biweekly all of our students. We've had a few handfuls of cases, but we are on target to finish up. We are going home at Thanksgiving, and we will come back the second week in January. But so far, everything's great. Louisville shut down and Kentucky shut down very early. In fact, 2 days after New Jersey shut down. So we were in great shape compared to some of the states right around us. What are we looking for in general arts and sciences? If you have a 2.5 and a 21, you can be admitted to many, not all, but many of our majors. So there is an opportunity for students who aren't right at the top of the class. But in business and engineering, some of the other programs, we're asking for a little more. And again, I want you to remember, we have just now changed to test score optional. There is a pathway for every major without test scores. In engineering, it will involve, after you're admitted, taking an AccuPlacer exam or a math placement test, but that we are ACT or SAT optional, or have a pathway ACT or SAT optional in every one of these programs, which will lead you to the same place. Again, we're coming right to the end here. Just some views of campus. You know, we have world-class men's and women's basketball on campus, a very traditional campus. Our newest building is Center on the lower level there. That's the Belknap Academic Building, or BAB. I mentioned earlier a world-class cheer team. We're also recruiting heavily in the area for our rugby and hockey club teams, if you know anyone that's interested. And a brand new student rec center that's just a couple of years old at this point. How can you stay connected with us? The best ways are through social media. You can take a picture of this with your camera, but again, we do Instagram live student-led tours every Tuesday and Thursday. That is the best way, or the Facebook page. We do tweet, and we do have Snapchat as well, but the better two are the Instagram and the Facebook. The Facebook, we record live sessions on housing, on financial aid, on applying, on being from out of state, on first-generation students, on Latinx for Latinx students. So those are two great ways to stay connected with us. Again, I am here for you. I have one more video to show you, which is a tour of campus, and then I'll answer your questions right after that. Okay. So I'm going to stop sharing now and just go to the Q&A. And I'm going to start with Matthew's question. Is the $10,000 scholarship only eligible for New Jersey High School in 2020? No, Matthew, they've made a 10-year commitment starting last year. So it will be available for the following year as well. You know, it is honestly a great deal if you're looking at bigger name schools anywhere in the country. I know Maine, you know, Maine matches our tuition here in New Jersey, and Florida State. We're the only three that are going to be less than or equal to the in-state schools here. Peter has a question. Peter says, tell me about entrance to the sporting events. Okay, so we have something called Plan 23. And if you are in, you join Plan 23, which is optional, but you pay $10 a month, you're guaranteed a seat at every sporting event. The bottom line to that is all the sports except men's basketball, women's basketball, and football are free anyway. But if for $10 a month, you can have a guaranteed seat at every men's basketball, every women's basketball, and every one of the 8 home football games, which is a really, really cool thing, and much less than it would cost you to buy the tickets in general. Another question from Tammy. Tammy's question is basically, if she applies to engineering and doesn't get in, will she be moved or changed majors? And the answer is, in business, engineering, and nursing, you will still have the opportunity to be accepted. You will just be put into the pre-nursing, pre-engineering, or pre-business program after 1 semester. And it depends on what program you're in. For instance, in business, if you have a 2.8 after 1 semester and you've completed the Math 111 course with a C or better, you will be automatically moved into business. The same, there are different classes required, but the same kind of rules apply for business and nursing as well. Okay, one other question from Dawn. Okay, the basics of the question are, how close are we in Louisville to the marches and the protests going down? You know, the Black Lives Matter protests have been a big deal for our city. And the university immediately met with our, you know, Dr. Beneputi, with our Black Student Union. And within a week, we named and we have already awarded the first one, a scholarship for an African-American nursing student from Kentucky. It's a full scholarship, and we're going to give it away every year to honor Breonna Taylor. The protests are about 2.8 miles. They're in downtown. And yes, some of them, the vast majority of them, have been 100% peaceful. But have there been a couple that have gotten out of hand? There certainly have. But again, it's a long way from us. I will also point out, which, you know, our Kentucky kids know to ask, but maybe out of state we don't. We have our own independent police force on campus. We have 46 sworn officers. We are not part of the Louisville Metro Police Department, who are the folks who are in question, if you will. So we would want you to know that, but really a very, very safe campus and a completely self-contained campus. And again, about 2.5, 3 miles from downtown. That's about, if you've been to Philadelphia, that's about as far as St. Joe's is from downtown Philadelphia. So a good distance away, to give you a reference.
Okay, I'm going to jump in here because we are at 7:44, and we have, you know, exactly 45 minutes before we boot us off. I'd like to thank everyone for joining us. We appreciate you listening to us. I am sure you've learned a lot about University of Louisville. I know I have. And I know it's Louisville, not Louisville. I did exactly the Jersey thing.
10 ways to say it.
When you close the window, you will have a short survey. We would appreciate your feedback. Please remember that the session is recorded, so you can go back and review it at any time. You also should sign up for other sessions. There's a lot more things happening tonight, happening tomorrow, and happening Friday.
There we go. Go Cards. That's my L. Throwing up my L. That's what we do.
And that's it for this evening. Thank you, Rich. Thank you guys for coming.
Thank you
Have
so
a
much.
Wonderful evening. Bye.
Appreciate it. Bye now.